Hi, I'm John Brazier, and we're here again with the Triad Golf podcast. And with me today is Jay Allred, the founder of Triad Golf, and Harold Kincaid, the managing partner here at Reynolds Park Golf Course in Winston-Salem, which we're here on a warm January day, which is unusual. I got here and the parking lot was full. And it wasn't even 50 degrees, but it's going to get into the 60s supposedly. And Harold, I guess it's a welcome relief for you, huh?
Yeah, we had a long shutdown of 21 days, so it was a relief to get back open.
Yeah, I think a lot of us who've been shut in have, really been waiting for some warmer weather. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it's good to have it. And another good reason to be here is this is an anniversary year here at Reynolds Park, I understand.
This is the 85th year of the operations of this golf course. It was opened in 1940.
And I can tell you, there's a lot of regulars here. I mean, a lot of people play here, but there's a lot of people who play here all the time, and it's a favorite here. It's got a pretty prestigious pedigree. Tell me about the course designer.
Yeah, its original layout was by Perry Maxwell. Of course, he did Old Town in '38. He did most all the greens at Augusta National. He's built Southern Hills, Prairie Dunes. He's got quite a pedigree, and he built it here. It was Reynolds money. This was a country farm of the Reynolds family. They donated the land and money for the building of it, and a lot of the work, the handwork, was done by the WPA back during the Roosevelt administration. So it's got a neat history to it.
It does, and it's a very fun golf course to play. I've had a chance to play here a couple times late in the fall, and it's not real long if you look at the total yardage, but it's got a few holes that play pretty long. Yeah,
they didn't move a lot of dirt back then, and it's kind of the charm of the place. We drain really well, so we get carts out when a lot of other golf courses can't. But you got uphill, downhill, side hill. A lot of the greens, approach shots seem to be uphill, and especially number 11 and 18. And it may be only 6,300 from the tips, but it plays longer, I think, and it takes some getting used to.
I think you're right, and people got to remember that courses that were built maybe prior to 1970, or I'm just throwing a date out there, they didn't expect to be 7,200 yards and people hitting drivers 350 yards. No. So, 6,400 yards is not an unusual distance for when this course was built.
No, and there's probably not room to stretch it out much longer than that. And for our clientele, I think it challenges the better player, but the average player to even the early beginner can play and enjoy themselves and have fun and not beat them up too bad.
Well, my favorite part, I'm just joking. One of my favorite things, I'm kind of a strange person, is you get to cross a busy road when you play here in your cart. You get to play dodge with the traffic.
Well, that's a little challenging at times, and the city has helped us a little bit with some barriers out that slow the traffic down, and where they used to use our turn lane as a passing lane, and it was scary at times. But it's a whole lot better now. I thank the city for, especially the people with city traffic that have helped us out there, and it's not as bad as it used to be. Still with walkers, they have to be careful.
It's an interesting thing with the busy road on running through it, and that's 311, which is Reynolds Park Road. Is that what it's called here?
Yeah, it's Reynolds Park Road.
Yeah,
and it's a heavily traveled road for people who live in Kernersville that are coming downtown that aren't necessarily going to get on 40 or something like that. So it's heavily trafficked. There's a lot of elderly people live out this way, so you see a lot of ambulances coming down sometimes. we laughingly call that our theme song sometimes when that siren goes by.
Well, let me just kind of, maybe you can go over the setup here. So the city owns the golf course.
Yes.
And you are the managing partner with a couple people. You have a couple people, T Square Golf, is that right?
That's right. We're a management group that basically our family used to own Grandview out in Pofftown. Jay still kids me about being the people that sold it and calls me bad names.
Very disappointing. I live 7 houses down from the former Grandview Golf Club.
So, between a year off of there and we took over leasing here and from the city in November 1st of 2008, and this is my 17th year here.
So you guys, from what I can tell, you guys do pretty good business. I mean, when the weather's good, this place is packed.
It's pretty good. Like everybody, would like a little more, but we had a good year last year. Just fortunately, the cost of everything just keeps going up and up. But we try to keep the golf as affordable as we can to get people who are newer to the game and people who don't have the access to the private clubs can come out and afford to play. And that's, I feel like we're kind of the backbone of the game. I mean, we get the guys that are starting to play and fall in love with it, and it's, we get a lot of Wake Forest kids that come out and have a good time, and I think we feel a good niche.
What kind of greens do you have here?
We have a grass called Diamond Zoysia. It's
Okay.
very similar to a Bermuda grass. It's a warm season grass, maybe a little more cold tolerant than Bermuda grass greens, but still we have to cover them when the lows are in the low teens and the highs aren't getting much above freezing, then we end up having to cover them for several days. Same grass that Sapona has.
Yeah, and you say it has a similar playing field to like the mini dwarfs.
Yes, similar. It might be a little bit thicker. I don't think they'll roll as fast during the height of the summer, when they really love the heat. So we have to top dress and a little bit more, and we have to verticut more and keep our reels extremely sharp so they don't chew on the grass. We found out over the years certain ways. Our superintendent's very familiar with the grass and has worked with it a long time and has good knowledge, and he stays very active with the Carolina's golf course superintendents and some of their background. Ryan McClannon's his name, and he does a good job keeping them in good shape year round.
Well, I'm sorry, Jay, go ahead.
Talk about one of the things I think that's interesting is when you make the transition from bent to like a Bermuda or a Diamond Zoysia, how long did it take for your superintendent to kind of get their legs under them?
Well, this was all new grass, and it was, they had it at, I think, Palmetto Dunes, a few places in South Carolina. Pilot Knob kind of went with the same grass right after we did, and then Winston Lake eventually did too. It took a little time to get used to it. They were kind of writing the book as it went along. I think they actually have another Zoysia grass for greens now called Prism that Todd Hill Farm just went to.
Right. It's a little faster.
And it's supposed to be a little faster. And so I think the technology is catching up. We end up having to get a new roller grinder to keep that sharp edge. And we found out that you just have to keep your reels super sharp from the cut correctly and to have a good decent roll. They're never going to roll 12 and a half during the middle of the summer. And with the older greens and Perry Maxwell didn't ever envisioned 12 or 11 or even 10 probably on a stimp meter. They're plenty fast enough, I think, for the regular play we got. And during the winter months and fall, after they go dormant, they get really fast. And so I think we've gotten more knowledgeable as we've gone along, though.
Yeah. I would say, like in the past of talking to places, it normally takes, when they convert from like a bent to a Bermuda, if their superintendent was a bent grass superintendent, it takes about 2 years. A lot of people don't really understand. You've gone from a grass that loves heat. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've gone from a grass that hates heat to a grass that loves heat. So it's really totally different, in the summertime. Y'all don't have to go around and constantly water the greens like you do with the bent grass in the summertime.
It has made it, that part has been a little bit easier on our maintenance crew, that they're not having to be out there from Memorial Day to Labor Day hand watering greens. Because that's what you have to do with bent grass here in the transition zone, as they call it. And it's made it easier on our maintenance guys that, hey, they come in and get things started and they don't have to stick around all day, so it saves some labor. It makes them happier that they don't lose every weekend of the year practically, and it's it does have different challenges in that we top dress more, we verticut more, so we have to do with those things versus maybe you wouldn't do that as much with bent grass.
Yeah, explain what verticutting is, because probably the normal golfer doesn't understand what that is.
It's a vertical mowing where it actually goes down and thins the grass, takes some of the thatch out. That's the big thing. You don't want the thatch building up as on that top layer. Then the grass the roots aren't going to go far down as you want them to and become healthier, and you just don't get a true roll. If it gets real thatchy, you'll see the ball kind of look like it's weaving almost, and so it takes a little work, and so there's during the summer months there may be a little bit more work, but we also save money. We don't have to use nearly as much fungicides, which from a agronomic thing and environmental place, that's probably better. Don't have to use as much nitrogen as maybe as a Bermuda green, but there's different things that we have to look out for to certain times of year. We ought to spray a certain chemical to as a preventative and things like that.
Right here, being a city-owned course that's run by you as a management company, what is the best way to get a tee time here? Is there a website, or how do you do it, Harold?
We're dinosaurs. We just still have the tee sheet and calling in. The website that was set up many years ago was American Golf, and they were here for 20 plus years, and it seems like it gets directed to them more. And I've never been a fan of some of the golf online booking machines.
Right, third party
stuff. I mean, we're the ones spending the money, busting our backs here to keep it up. And I hate to give somebody else a piece of my product, the money for it, when I feel like we're doing the work. And I like the hands-on type thing, talking to people. I mean, I'm still old school in that. I think one thing we build, not only as our business, is relationships.
Now, I ask about that because I looked on a website and I ended up calling you to play, and so that is the way to do it. Mm-hmm. Or you can show up, I guess, and hope to be lucky or not.
Yeah, we try to work people in, and people want to call and get us tee time for a single, and we don't really do that. We'd be out of business pretty soon if we just booked singles. But we try to work people in, try to be as accommodating as we can. Mm-hmm. Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, you show up with 3 guys, I may not be able to get you in, but usually after lunch sometime we can find a spot. We try our best because it's, we want to accommodate as many as we can.
And we're sitting here in the snack bar, which there's quite a few tables here, and so you can get food here, I guess. Oh, yeah. You have breakfast and lunch?
We just do lunch, concessions, and it's not open 7 days a week here either. It's generally open Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where we have the snack bar is manned. We still sell drinks and nabs and things like that the other days, but it's just not enough business to pay for somebody to be standing back here all day.
And I can see that you can get a beer after your round or during your round, and that's good. And you got a pro shop, you sell some equipment.
Yes, most of it is kind of impulse items, I guess you would call it.
Sure.
The guy gets here and says, "Hey, I need a new glove," and we're pretty reasonable. I mean, we sell Titus Pro V1's probably cheaper than most of the golf stores. We don't try to overdo it with people, but and we do sell clubs and things like that, but we don't stock a lot in. But we're a big Titleist guys. A Cushionit, FootJoy, all that whole line. That's most of it. And, for a little shop like this, we do pretty well out of it.
What's it been like? I know you're popular and you're a municipal golf course, but since COVID, have you noticed a big increase or not really?
Well, I hate to say that COVID was good for something, but it was probably really good for the golf industry because people weren't allowed to do the certain things. And one thing they could do was get outside. And we needed more young people playing the game. And now, I think I saw this in my latest PGA magazine, that the younger section now is a bigger part of the game now than the older section. I mean, honestly, it just couldn't be an old white dude's game anymore. It had to open up for younger people, minorities, women. See more women golfers now. Their guys are bringing their girlfriends with them. Hopefully, I got friends that do a lot of teaching, and they're teaching a lot more women, I think. And it's where golf needed to move, I think.
And this is a place that you would think would really benefit from new players. This is a municipal golf course where if you're just starting out, this would be, driving range would probably be the best place to start. But, if you're going to play a course for your first round, this would be a good place to play.
Yeah, we do ask people to kind of respect the pace of play.
Yeah.
If you watch TV lately, it's the PGA Tour pace of play is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, our good golfers can play in 3.5 hours, and they want to play in the middle of the day and play in 3.5, and they call in and complain because somebody's holding them up. I think younger people are kind of more.
You didn't recognize my voice, did you?
No.
Okay.
No, I think a lot of the younger people come out. It's more of a lot of it's social thing.
Yeah.
And I understand that. A lot of them want to listen to their music and have a good time, maybe drink a beer or two, and just relax away from work or the grind of school or whatever they're going through. And, so that's some issues that we have to battle. But I tell people, if you're starting out, go to the range, get some lessons, come out here and start with 9 holes. Try to do it at non-peak times. Being out here at Saturday morning at 9 o'clock and you giving one guy lessons on the first tee,
yeah,
we're cringing in the pro shop.
I'm laughing now, but I'm not laughing on the course when that happens.
Yeah, we're like, oh gosh, who's going to go talk to him? We look at each other and say, okay, somebody's got to go out there and talk to him. And most people understand, and just keep up with the group in front. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I don't know when the music started, but it seems like the last 10 years or something, I'll go out there and anybody under 30 is like listening to music on the golf course. That's new to me,
I got a speaker. If I go out and play 9 holes by myself in the afternoon, I put a little music on and enjoy it. But I don't turn it up so loud where 2 holes over they're hearing my old rock and roll or country music or whatever I'm listening to.
I saw a golf course. I can't remember what it was. Somewhere around the area that had a sign that you can play music, but not that somebody on the next hole can hear.
That's a good rule.
Yeah,
I think so.
But I don't know how you know what somebody can hear all the way. But yeah, interesting.
You run some summer camps for junior golfers with Winston-Salem State, a fraternity there. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, Omega Sci-Fi has come out with they do a really neat thing with at-risk. It's mostly young men, young boys that have come out from different areas, and we've been helping with them a couple of years. Jay has been great with it. He's actually a very good teacher himself here, and this last year we had Charles Paul, Chris Paul's dad, came in and spoke to him. Forgetting the guy's name, played for Maryland with Lynn Bias.
Lynn Bias, yeah.
Yeah, Ken, I think it was his name. But anyhow, it was so good them talking to them and kind of giving their life's experiences and things. And you never know, you may not reach all of them, but maybe you reach a few. And most of the kids are pretty good. They're just kids.
Yeah, they were great. And it's really neat because the Omegas bring these kids in from North and South Carolina. The different chapters sponsor these kids. It doesn't cost the kids any money. They come to Winston-Salem State. They go through some classes and different things of that nature. And then they bring them over here, at different times, and they get golf instruction. They get exposed to the game and everything. And so it's a lot of fun.
Keith Gatlin.
That's right.
Great guy. And with his experiences in life and playing college ball and some pro ball and coaching, he was really good in relating. Another fellow that helps put it together is a guy named Buck Mitchell that played at Winston-Salem State for Big House. I mean, this guy that came to town with a suitcase with his clothes, and that's all he owned in the world. And he's done very well for himself, and a hard-working guy, and just but a great citizen and a good role model for kids.
Gives back to the kids.
And Omega Psi always has a fundraiser, has had one for out here for years, and we try to look after them. But they've been a good group. We try to do some things with First Tee whenever they haven't been able to do it at Winston Lake, and we try. It's hard with some of the schools trying to find a place with our golf leagues and the busy we are, because the time the schools get out, we're so busy we can't accommodate them. But we've been able to do some tournaments, some regional tournaments with girls golf and some of the boys golf too. And I still like doing that. We've had the Forsyth Junior out here a lot, and love to see young people playing.
And by the way, I didn't mention this, but I think you guys are, as far as affordability, you guys are right there. I mean, there's not too many places that are more affordable than because it is a city municipal golf course. It's a very good golf course, but it's a city course, and I guess the mission is, it's for the citizens of Winston-Salem.
We try to look at it that way and try to keep the game as affordable as we can, because golf clubs, golf balls, I'm not kidding you, they can run up. It can be expensive. And I have a daughter that lives in Charlotte, and her husband laugh at me when I tell them what we charge. They're because a typical golf course there, similar, is $20 more per round.
Yeah.
And one of my partners here is my brother-in-law in Raleigh, and he says the same thing for there.
Oh yeah.
And it's just our market is a little less expensive, which is good for our local golfers. I think people move here, to this area because it's a nice place to retire. We got a lot of northerners that move here for a little better climate, and they love the price of golf here.
So should we expect anything different in year 85 at anniversary things, Harold?
Yeah, we're going to probably try to do a few things, maybe some head covers and things like that to signify it. Maybe we might even do some type of little tournament or something. I don't know. Or
85-cent beer day?
I don't know about that. The city probably would frown on us getting too cheap on beer. I don't know, but it's.
I like the way you think.
Yeah, I understand that. But we'll probably do some promotions, things with that. Maybe. I look forward to that. I'm hoping this winter hasn't hurt us bad when we get into the green up in the spring, that we didn't lose some grass. That's kind of my worry right now is you get winter kill every so many years when it stays too cold for too long.
So right now, basically, we don't want any more really super cold weather after today, I guess, right?
Well, it's still winter. We still got February and a few weeks of March. I think it was at Grandview one year we were talking about air fine in March, and we had 8 inches of snow or 6 inches of snow, and I spent a couple days helping people in lockers dig out from their driveways and such, and made a little money. Something to do, but.
And we miss you for doing that.
Oh,
those are the good old days. I remember I'd play there, and I used to hit balls into the houses all the time, and it was a whole lot of fun.
It's one of our holes that I think was one of the favorite sledding hills anywhere around.
Yeah, number 2.
I actually met Ken Venturi one time, and a lady he was eating dinner with in Greensboro, I told her where I worked at, and she says, "Can't you do something about number 2 at Grandview?" And I'm like, "I'm talking with Ken Venturi. I want to hear about winning the U.S. Open at Congressional, or the greatest match ever played."
Didn't you almost faint or something?
Yeah,
like
he
that?
almost died playing 36 holes in the heat at Congressional, and then they had the greatest match ever played. Him and Harvey Ward playing Ben Hogan and Byron Nelson at Cypress Point, and we're talking about number 2 at Grandview. So you never know.
And that was actually it wasn't designed that way.
No,
they sold some lot. It used to go straight. Number 2 used to go straight, and then it played as a par 3 from a hill to that green. And so the previous owner sold some lots and changed it to where it went out and then went uphill about 2 clubs.
Was there a hole where your house was kind of like the target, like you? Yeah,
no, I'm 7 houses away. If you hit my house, you're really bad.
I could probably.
You're really strong and you're really bad.
I might have hit a drive or 2 into the tennis courts.
Yeah, that would be doable.
A good pull
hook. Tennis courts, I'm sure, came into play.
Yeah, I don't think I ever hit a house. No, number 6 was right along some houses. It was OB across the fence.
Oh yeah,
you could get near the swimming pool. There. Oh yeah, we had some there.
Well, let me talk about a couple other local courses that you guys are very familiar with that kind of been in the news, and we run stories on triadgolf.com about it. By the way, we have a new website, and I hope you guys will check it out, triadgolf.com, and you can get the podcast or YouTube of this by going to the website if you want to do it that way. Winston Lake, which is another city course, but run by the city. They have just like taken out a bunch of trees, from what I heard.
Well, I don't understand. They're going to take out almost 50 acres.
Yeah.
I tell people, well, grass doesn't grow in the dark, and over years you need to have proper tree management. It's probably gotten a little bit crazy over there over the years, but they're trying to open up sight lines, and they're going to what I've understood, they're going to move some grass, some dirt around so they can grow better grass to hold shots in the fairway where it was kind of unfair before, and then redo the greens. It's a process of over several years, I think, that what they're talking about.
Now, I think the director of recreation and parks told me that it's 46 acres of trees, but the quote, he said almost the same thing you said, is greens don't grow very well in the middle of the forest. And so you got to take some trees out to protect the greens. He told me there had been bare spots in the fairways and the greens, and this is really badly needed.
The rough especially. I mean, because, the rough gets shaded, so you hit the ball. Typically it stops in the rough, but it just keeps running because the trees
and runs into the trees. I used to tell people that Winston Lake was the hardest golf course for its yardage in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah,
because you had to know how to keep the ball in play. There were some guys out there you never wanted to play out there back in the day. Let me tell you, a lot of good players. A couple of them still play golf with us here that you didn't want to play them over there. Yeah. The local knowledge was a big thing.
It must be the time of the year for municipally owned courses to do their work, because Tanglewood, which is owned by the county, Forsyth County, they're getting a new clubhouse, and we've run a story about them. They're hope to be in it by September, and I guess it's badly needed. They had a huge clubhouse, but it looked like they didn't touch it for the 50 years that they were in it. As far as the furnishings, it looked like the furnishings were the same from 1975 or whatever, and they're going to tighten things up and modernize, and they're going to have a new clubhouse. Right now they're running out of a double trailer, I guess, temporary structure.
I think it was built for like the 74 PGA Championship. I think it was designed for
about that time,
which it really wasn't a functional design to run as a public golf course clubhouse.
I used to go to the old Vantage Championship, which was there in the 90s when I was going, and you'd see their locker room, and it was like PE, high school PE gym class lockers, and you're saying, "Oh, Lee Trevino, that's Lee's locker right there."
Palmer,
yeah. So they needed the new clubhouse. It's good to see that coming along. Gillespie out in Greensboro is got their clubhouse fixed up. We ran a story about that on Triad Golf. A tree fell on it during the Sandy.
Big tree.
What was it?
Big tree.
Big tree. Yeah. Big tree. What was that? Debbie? Was that the name of the hurricane? I think so. Not hurricane, whatever it was. But yeah, so they're back in there. Jay, you are a member at Maple Chase, and Maple Chase opened a while back, and I understand you still haven't played there.
I still haven't played. I've been waiting to play it for the first time with my daughter, but you never know. It seems, depending on her schedule, she works a lot. So.
Yeah, well, we talked about with Harold that we had 21 days where nobody played.
Yeah, she couldn't do anything.
So, I have played it once.
I've turned into a baker because it's been frozen the last 21 days.
Well, I would say that the work they did out there was tremendous. Bob Moore, the architect, did a lot of neat things. They've added a lot of fairway bunkers, all new greens. They went back with a new strand of bent grass that's beautiful. The superintendent and general manager out there, I think, did an outstanding job of getting it up and running. And you just can't, what Mr. Murphy did, the owner, is off the chart. Cool of what he did. I think it's fair, but I don't know that it's any easier.
Right.
They've got some slopes in the greens, but they got so many more pin placements. It's they got some back tees at my age. Yeah. I may go back there and hit off of some of them for a lark. I mean, it's it's really neat what they did and they've done to the property, and it's all my hats off to Lynn Murphy, his family, Shannon, and all them, and Justin Hudson and Denny, the superintendent, what they've done, and Paul, the pro. They've all hung in there, and they've made so many improvements. It's an outstanding club now.
And Jay, didn't they use like James Bond grass on the greens or something?
007.
007. Wow, that's a snappier name than what some of these other names. Although Champion Bermuda was okay, I guess. Stormont Forest, another course that's, I guess it's under repair now, or renovations, I guess would be the word they would use. So, and I don't know when that's going to be done, but I think that's a pretty extensive project.
That's an extensive one. Yeah, that's a big one that they've got going on there.
Yeah. So anyway, that's some of the places are undergoing work. I don't know. You guys know of any other places right now that are any other projects?
No, but Tot Hill, the renovation they did at Tot Hill, I mean, it's really taken off, and the pricing reflects that, and and they have been very, very successful and gotten a lot of national attention.
Yes, they have.
With that renovation.
And I was going to.
Their location is good for people that are going south, the snowbirds, as we call them, headed down to Pinehurst or going down to Myrtle Beach, and it's good access off of 74.
No, it is. And I forgot to mention Chris Spence, our friend from Greensboro, is doing the remodeling at Stormont Forest. I think. You see Tot Hill Farm, and it's a little out of the way, and it's a few miles outside Ashbury. Maybe it's out of the way for those of us who live close, or somewhat close. But yeah, it's ideally located for people traveling through, and it's priced in a way that it's not going to be the place you play every week. As a public place, you're not. So yeah, I think it's kind of in the same kind of area as Tobacco Road, the other Mike Strantz course that's in Sanford. That it's not a place you play every day.
Right, and the Ohio golf market is huge, but they have months where they don't play,
right.
So that's really a big target for them, because they can drive drive part of the way, spend the night, get up, play there, and then finish their drive to Pinehurst or Myrtle Beach, or even Santee.
Yeah.
Santee's a destination too.
I will say one thing: travel has gotten a lot harder, and I wish they would fix that I-40 stretch between Asheville and Knoxville. I know if you're coming from the west, I had to go all the way up to Bristol and then come back down.
77 to 81's the way to go now.
Well, that's right.
It's a much better, nicer, calmer drive too, and and southwestern Virginia is a beautiful area too, with some good golf courses there too, and so that's a neat drive to get to Knoxville that way. But yeah, it's going to take a while for Asheville, bless their hearts, to recover. It's devastated.
Yeah, I drove along some of the country roads out from Boone to get to Bristol, and it's just devastating. Especially, I was on a road that was along a river, and just everything was just.
Yeah, Elk River was heavily damaged, and
yes.
I'm not sure if they'll reopen this year. I got friends at Hound Deer's, the director of golf there is an old teammate of mine from App State, and I bless her heart, they got just hammered with that when the Watauga River flooded so bad, and a grandfather, a lot of nice clubs, and also I think Boone Golf Club came through it pretty well.
It did. I played at Boone like a couple weeks after the storm. They'd had it already cleaned up.
Yeah, I don't know about Jefferson.
Jefferson Landing, I don't think was hurt.
Yeah,
but yeah,
Mount Mitchell got hit pretty hard, didn't
Yeah,
they?
I heard that too. That's a shame, because that used to be one of the premier public golf courses in this state. And one rumor I heard was that they may not reopen.
Oh man,
That's terrible.
But I hope that's not true, because that back nine was around the South Toe River was just neat.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be.
That was a Fred Hawtree design. I think he was the. That's the only golf course he did in the U.S. He was like the open doctor in Europe and everything.
Well, guys, I don't know. We're gonna wrap things up, I guess. And I appreciate Harold. Thanks for letting us come out here. And
Anytime.
Great place to play, guys. It really is. I really Didn't get introduced to it until the fall, and I've played a couple times since. It's a really good place to come out and play. Like you said, though, you might want to call first.
Please do, but
Yeah.
we'll try our best to get you on the golf course. That's what we do for a living.
And Jay, we're counting on you getting your teams ready at Reagan to start winning state championships
Yeah,
again.
we're looking good coming up. We're looking good. So we're very optimistic.
We just don't mess them up.
I try not to. I just try to. I got what's called the snackle box. It's a big box of treats, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Macy Pate got invited to the Augusta Women's Amateur.
Oh, that's awesome. She had a great freshman year. Everybody
did.
kind of follows her because she's local and she's worked so hard at her game. You see her out at Maple Chase, and some other girls out there too. Some of your
Some
girls.
of the other players, we were blessed those several years.
Well, we'll come to you guys again next week. I appreciate people listening, and please check out the new triadgolf.com site.